What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Joseph, and today we're going to take a look at the 3 best credit cards you can get in 2021 for both students and beginners alike. I'm going to give an individual breakdown of each card, the benefits that come with it, as well as the reasoning as to why I think it's a great card to get. I'll also be giving a general guide you can follow on how to get started, as well as a simple goal you can try and reach once you get the hang of things. Because we are in the new year, I think it's a great opportunity for you to start building your credit so you could be better prepared for the big life purchases such as a car or even a house. And believe it or not, having a good credit score will make you money in the long run, not only through the savings that you get from lowered interest rates, but also from the great cashback bonuses you can get as early as next week from the regular purchases that you make. So without further delay, let's get into the video. So the first card I'm going to talk about is the Pedal to Visa credit card. This credit card has been out since 2018 and used to be the first credit card for this company's lineup back in the day. Now they have pushed this card as being the advanced form of the Pedal One Visa credit card, which is targeted for individuals with low to fair credit or for credit rebuilding purposes. While that does sound similar to what we're looking for, I don't recommend getting this card, but I'll address why in a little bit. So what's different about this card and the company itself is how they assess your application for getting the card. Instead of just relying on your credit history and the components that make it up, they tend to look more so into your banking history. So if you don't have any credit history, but you have a job that gives consistent money coming in and you can showcase good saving and spending behaviors, then it's very possible to get this card. In terms of its benefits, it gives you 1% cash back up to 1.5% on everything that you buy. And what that means is you first start off at 1%. And if you pay on time for 6 months, you'll be upgraded to 1.25%. And if you do that again, you'll be upgraded to a maximum of 1.5%. You'll also get 2 to 10% cash back on purchases you make from 500 different select local businesses. This card has no fees associated with late fees, international fees, and annual fees. So if you are going to study abroad or take international trips, probably not right now because of COVID, but theoretically, then yes, I think this is a good card for that purpose as well. And starting this month, if you pay more than the minimum on your monthly billing cycle, you have the opportunity to get entered into a sweepstakes that will pay your credit card bill off up to $500. Now let's rewind a bit and talk about why I don't recommend the Pedal One credit card. And the reason is because there's no base level cashback bonus for this card. I mean, yeah, it's true you'll get that 2 to 10% cashback from local businesses, but that's not consistent enough to apply for every purchase you're gonna make. And when you compare it to all the other cards available in this lineup, 1% is the minimum that you can get, so why would you bother getting something that's below that threshold? Moving on, the next one that we're going to talk about is the Bank of America Cash Rewards credit card for students. It gives 3% cash back based on the category of your choosing given these available selections, and you can change these once per calendar month. You'll also get 2% back on grocery store and wholesale club purchases, and anything outside of that criteria is a 1% cashback bonus. And if you sign up today, you can get $200 cashback rewards when you spend at least $1,000 in purchases in your first 3 months of opening your account. In addition to this, when opening your account, they'll also give you 0% interest for 12 months. So if you need to buy a textbook or one of those online course codes for one of your classes, but you're in a bind for cash, then this is a good short-term solution for you to pay with minimum amount until you're able to fully pay off the cost with no repercussions for 12 months. Now I know that there are cases where you can be a student and you still can't get cards that are targeted for students. So in this case, you can opt for the Bank of America secured credit card. It offers the same base benefits for the student credit card, but with 3 differences. For one, you don't get the introductory offer of the $200 cashback rewards. You also don't get the 0% interest for 12 months. And the third one is that it's a secured credit card. So how a secured credit card works is based off of information like your income, your credit history, and also how much of a security deposit that you provide. And over time, as you make consistent on-time payments, they will return the security deposit to you and they may increase your credit limit. Now, the final credit card we're going to talk about is actually 2 cards, but they're pretty much the same except for one small difference. And these are the Discover It Student Cashback Credit Card and the Discover It Student Chrome. Now, the only difference is essentially the cashback bonuses and how they apply to each other. Firstly, the Discover It Student Cashback credit card gives you 5% on categories that change every quarter of the year, while also giving you 1% back on purchases outside of those categories. On the other hand, the Discover It Student Chrome gives 2% cashback on gas stations and restaurants, while also giving 1% on things outside of that. And everything else in terms of its benefits are pretty much the same. You will get an unlimited double cashback match for the first year of opening your account, and you'll also get a $20 credit every school year that your GPA is a 3.0 or higher for the next 5 years. You'll also get 0% interest free for 6 months, which is kind of short compared to the Bank of America offer, but it's better than nothing. So essentially, depending on your preferences, these two cards can help not only to build your credit history, but also provide some extra cash on the side. Now, the next thing I'm going to talk about are the honorable mentions that didn't quite make the list but are still worth mentioning. And the first card I'm going to talk about is the Capital One Journey Student Credit Card. And the reason why this card didn't make it in the list is because it's very bare bones and doesn't have much scalability in the long run. You get 1% cash back on everything that you buy. That also gets upgraded to 1.25% when you pay your bill on time. You'll also get $60 streaming credits that are eligible after the first on-time payment within 18 months, but only 12 of them will grant you a monthly $5 credit for that period. So if you are a Netflix user, this can provide some short-term reduction in monthly costs, but personally, I think they could have done better. I feel like either they could have doubled the streaming credits to $120, or they could have made it so it's not limited to streaming, and that would have made it a slightly better offer. Outside of those two benefits, this card also doesn't have any foreign transaction fees, so if you plan on traveling overseas, then it does have some purpose for that, but that's pretty much it. That's like all the benefits you get. But in all fairness, this card is still okay for like the beginning when you're first building your credit history and to just get some like a small amount of cashback bonus. But in the long run, there are better cards available that sort of make this card useless. And now we have the next and final card in the honorable mentions. This card is actually decent, but it has some specific requirements that kind of make this card a little bit inconvenient. And this is the Apple credit card. So as a given, you need to have an Apple device to fully take advantage of this card. But more specifically, you need to have at least an iPhone 6 or an iPhone 5 if you have an Apple Watch. This card gives up to 3% cash back from select brands that you pay using your Apple card that's connected to your Apple Pay. You get 2% back for those brands that are not included in that, and you get 1% back for those that do not accept Apple Pay. With this card, you can also buy new Apple products with 0 interest monthly payments. So this is good for those that might need a MacBook for their classes but want to pay it off over a longer period of time. There are no international fees, no late fees or annual fees, and what's interesting about this card is that you won't get hit with a hard credit pull unless you accept the card after your application is approved. So it helps with risk mitigation if you decide to apply for this card and then you end up getting rejected. And that's pretty cool. And you may be wondering, with all these good benefits, why isn't this on the main list? And it's mostly due to the whole specificity of having an iPhone that's a certain model, and you have to connect it to Apple Pay, and then the variable chance that the merchant even accepts Apple Pay. It also doesn't apply to everyone because not everyone has an iPhone, and just me talking about it is almost like cashback with extra steps. But don't let my opinion stop you from getting this card. If you have the necessary hardware and everything I mentioned before doesn't bother you, then get it. And now that we have gone through all the cards, you may be asking yourself, which card should I get first? And quite simply, it doesn't really matter. The most important thing is for you to get your feet wet and just start building your credit history. But with that being said, I highly recommend you get one of the Discover credit cards to take full advantage of the $20 credit you can get for good grades each year. But whichever you get first, here is a simple guide that will help you navigate the beginning paths. Firstly, Pick a card that you think will best fit your needs and just go for it. Once you get your credit card, just use it like you would normally pay for things. For the most part, think of your credit card as a bonus for the things you buy and not as some excuse or any sort of influence for you to go on some weird shopping spree and maxing out your credit card. Try to always pay off your purchases in full, and once you get into the habit of managing your account, I would wait roughly 6 to 8 months before getting another credit card. After getting your second card, wait another 6 to 8 months before you get a third card if you need it. At this point, I would now start by taking a closer look at cards that will further benefit you and consider cards with higher credit score requirements but have great rewards that make them worthwhile. A great example of this is the Chase Freedom Flex credit card. Once you are able to get this card, I would say that you are in a good position to get any reasonable credit card that you need. If you need help with that, I'll go ahead and link a video on the best credit cards you can get. So you can go check that out and see what other great options are available. And there you guys have it, the 3 best credit cards you can get as a student or a beginner in 2021. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked it or thought it was helpful, drop a like below and consider subscribing and hitting the bell icon. That being said, hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.